miss. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, Diego? Good evening, Wilder. How are you?
Good evening, miss. I'm pretty good. And you?
I'm good. I was waiting for you. Don't you have the group in the Skype?
Excuse me, miss. Could you repeat again? I couldn't listen you.
Don't you have the group in the Skype? Don't you receive the message?
No, miss. No, I am not in that group.
Let me check. Um, how are you? How was it today?
Miss, pretty good. I was working. Right now, I'm in my house. The the work today was so hard. Here in Tolemaida, the hot is so hard. Then when you are working indoor, the temperature is so hard.
What do you do outside? Only with the helicopter you mentioned? Do you study? Do you have to study something?
Yes, miss. Normally we we work we work in the hangar, but there are there are some works we need to develop to the outdoor. For instance, when we need to watch the helicopter plane, it's uh, it's outdoors. But today today had a military parade because the army aviation is today. Excuse me. Excuse me. Right now I'm celebrating the army happy birthday. The army happy birthday. 23 years. Did you understand me, miss?
Yes. And what time started the parade? Because you were showing everything? Did you have to
Excuse me,
show
miss.
did you have to show the planes in the parade, in the presentation?
The communication is not good, miss. In
Ah,
some
in the parade, in the presentation of the happy birthday of the birthday, did you have to show the plane, the helicopter? Did you turn on
yes, yes, miss. Normally in that birthday, come here, come here, uh, different peoples around the world. For instance, the commander of the aviation of United of Korea, Brazil. That activity uh, to that activity come a lot of people, and the Army aviation show all the capabilities we need to support the military operation.
Ah, interesting, interesting. So you saw
Yeah,
many
yes,
many foreigners today. Are they still in the army with
yes,
you
but
in Ptolemaida? Are
I
they
mean,
still in Ptolemaida?
today, today was the first activity, the first activity for that birthday. But tomorrow, I hope arrive to Ptolemaida, foreign people. I think
Where
so.
are they?
Today, today I saw only a Brazil, General
Brazilian.
Brazil. Yeah.
Brazilian.
Brazilian. Only Portuguese. English.
They didn't speak English.
Uh, I don't know because they with the general and you talk to them.
Oh, I see. Do you speak any other language or only Spanish and English?
Excuse me.
Do you speak an extra language like French, Portuguese, different from Spanish or English?
Portuguese, Portuguese, but you know what's the language you forget what you are learning. I had working. I was working on 8 years ago on Leticia in Leticia. Uh, so the people there speak Portuguese. Uh, then I was studying Portuguese. I learned something, but I think the Portuguese is easy.
Yes,
Excuse
because
me.
it's similar to Spanish.
Yes, yes, miss. That you are
Similar
right.
to some people, some people think that speaking Portuguese, Italian, French is easier because it sounds similar. But English is shorter. So English is a very short language. It's easy to learn. It's easier to learn English because Spanish, French, Portuguese, Italian, they are very big languages. So it's a lot to learn. English is very short. You learn fast. Um, do you have family with you? Do you live with your family there?
Uh, no, I live alone in Melgar. Uh, I am single. I have my beautiful daughter, but I don't live with her. With the and the rest of my family live live in Pitalito Villa, but but uh, there, but in Pitalito, my mother, my sister, my nephew, my cousin. The rest of the family lives in Belalcázar, Cauca.
Okay. And as well as your daughter is in Cauca.
No, no, excuse me. My daughter lives in Chaparral, Tolima.
Okay.
It's close. It's to here
Yes, close.
from
It is
here
close.
to Chaparral. It's 2 hours, maybe 2 hours.
Oh,
Really
yes,
close.
it's really close.
Do you do you know Chaparral, Tolima?
No, I have references of the map. I traveled one day from Bogota to Neiva, so I know the road, I know the places, but I have not been in Chaparral. I passed.
Uh, okay.
And
But you
go ahead.
no, don't worry, miss. Continue.
um, after you go to the States, you're going to an English course, right? Do you go to study in the United
Yes.
States? Is your plan to study in the States?
Uh, excuse me, miss. Could you repeat again? I didn't understand you very well.
You told me on Tuesday you won a scholarship or a course because the army is sending you to the States. Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
After the course, do you come to Colombia or where do you go?
yes, miss. The course will take I think 7 months. The course is plain to start. Will start. The course will start on September on 21st September 20, excuse me, November 21st until uh, 3rd July 3 or
3rd.
3rd, yes, the
July
next
the 3rd.
the next year, the 2019. When
And
the course when the course finish, I will return to Colombia.
and well, you return to Colombia and do you level up? Do you do you grow up in your professional military career? Like you have an ascenso after that?
Uh, no, no. I That is an specialization. Specialization is correct. An
Yes.
specialization in the aircraft system. Uh, but but the time of military career are different. For instance, the last Friday I was to the surgeon, but when you go to the overseas, you go only to acquire knowledge in the different aircraft systems. But do you know about the military system, or do you know the time the the the
I
structure of the army? You know?
none of the of your specific army, and I have a general idea, not very specific. I was teaching
The
a person here. He was a military person, and he explained me, but not very much. And I kind of know, but not too much. So I don't know how long you take to go up. I don't know. I told you study, study, and then you go up. And it seems no. How is it?
Let me let me explain you something. You know the military the military forces the military forces are divided in three main branches. The first branch is the the second is the Air Force, and the third is Marine Corps, infantry, infantry, marine, you
Marine?
know,
Marine.
marine, yes, marine. In the army, there are officers, NCO, professional soldiers, regular soldiers or soldiers, and that is the structure for the people who belong to the army. In my case, I'm NCO. We to the first step to belong to the to the NCO, you go to the military school, called Sargento Inocencio Chinca here in Tolemaida.
Okay.
You go for 2 years. After 2 years, you are promoted to the third corporal. In that rank, you you keep you you keep for 3 years. For 3 years, after 3 years, you you are promoted to corporal to the second corporal, and other 3 years. After six years, you achieve the next rank is first corporal. After that that rank, first corporal, take 4 years. So after 10 years, you are going to be to be sergeant, and after sergeant, the
Sergeant.
next rank is sergeant.
Yes.
Sergeant is sergeant sergeant first class, and I don't know how do you say sargento primero, but master sergeant.
Teniente?
No, sargento mayor. Excuse me, only sargento primero. Sergeant first
Sergeant.
class. Sergeant. After sergeant first class is, the next one is sergeant major. But
Mayor. Okay.
but
Sergeant.
sergeant major. In the that is that that those are the ranks in the NCO.
And after
But
you finish, after you arrive to Major Sergeant, then you finish. You can retire.
yes,
Can you go up?
but no, no.
No?
In that rank finish the military career, because you are so, for instance, in that rank you are so old, are maybe maybe 30 years or 20 26 years, the whole life. In that moment you need to go to take a rest in your house.
You're saying old people is not good.
No, because here that is the reason, because you I don't know how do you say, uh, I don't know, pensionado,
Retired.
pension, retire. That is the reason, because you retired to the, in my case, 20, 25 years old, because the work here is not easy. You need to be you need to be available,
Available.
available, available almost all the time. Only you have only one month per year to go on vacation,
That is
right?
true. That is true. You
20,
need.
20, 25 years old to be retired. Did you
So if you
understand me?
start, yes, I did. If you started when you were 18, after 25 years, so it means you are 30, 40 something, 40, 45, you can retire.
Yes, 42, because I joined to the Colombian Army when I was 17 years old.
Also, when you be 42, you will retire. How old are you?
Yes, that's correct.
And you are
I think
20,
so.
25?
Excuse me?
How old? How old are you? 25?
No, 29 years old. Right now.
You still have time. You still have time.
Yes, man.
If you get married in in the future, if you get married, your family can live with you or no?
Yes, yes, because the advantage, yes, advantage in the aviation is you have the opportunity to go each night to the house, but the rest of the army, this the system is different, because, for instance, if you are a dangerous zone, you are not going to have that opportunity. You you go to the house each 5 months, 5 months. It's so long the time.
Yes,
It's difficult that the life here. That is the
yes,
reason, because in the army there are a lot of divorce between between them is difficult.
it
It's
is
difficult.
true. It is true because, and in fact, you have your if you have your family, you have to travel with your family all over the places. So you need to be moving. And some girls say, no, I'm not going to move. So the divorce come. Do you? How old is your girl? How old is your daughter? I didn't listen. How old is your daughter? 10?
Six, 6 years old. six
She's
years
6.
old. She will. She will be 7 years old on November 16th.
Oh, so you have time. You have the opportunity to go before you travel. That's good.
Yes, I think so. Yes,
It is
because the the trip the trip the
the
trip
trip,
is what?
the trip.
The trip the trip I will have I will have to the on 21st, November 21st.
So you have time. You will go to celebrate your daughter's birthday, and you will have the time to go and travel. Can you give me 1 minute? One minute. Wait.
Okay, miss, don't worry.
Oh, excuse me. I'm back. Wilder, what are after you study the career to be a teacher? Can you be a teacher in the army, or do you plan to retire before? Wilder. Hello.
Hello, I'm so sorry I'm arriving late in this moment. I'm just came from work. It have been a chaos. I mean, it's difficult for me to get at this time. But well, it's the only time that I can do it.
Don't worry. I was talking to Wilder. I asked him a minute and he just quit and you came. So it is good.
Okay, okay.
How was it today, Erlene? Tell me about your day.
Okay, it was a tough day. I mean, it was really difficult. I had class in the morning, then I had to work in the afternoon until 8:15, 8:18, I guess. And I was driving from my work to home, and it's most likely like in the car, it's most likely like 40 minutes from my job to here to my house. It's a little bit complicated, but well, and that's what I say. I'm going to try to get as fast as I can. It was complicated, but well, at least I finally got here.
Oh, well, it is nice. I have a question. I thought you were you were in Bogota, but you are in Montessori, Cartagena. Are you?
Yeah, of course, of course. I was working there. I was working there in Bogota, like for example, like 3 years ago, something like that. And remember that I told you that I was working in call centers, like for example, AT&T, Sears, Ubers, all those stuff. and it was really good. But uh, I just returned to Cartagena. And when I returned to Cartagena, I immediately got this job, and now I'm just working here in Cartagena as usual in the Montessori. I've been here like for three years, I guess, something like that.
3 years.
Yeah, most likely.
Wilder
You,
come back. Wilder came back. Hello, Wilder. Can you listen? Okay, good. Erlin just arrived from his work. It was a chaos for Erlin today, but well. So, Cartagena. How is Cartagena? I have the idea like there is beautiful, the only beautiful place, and then the rest of Cartagena is ugly. Is it like that?
yeah, actually it is. I mean, Cartagena, it has many touristic places. If you go to downtown, if you go to Grande, Castillo, Laguito, those are touristic places. However, if you go outside of, for example, the walls, for example, if you go outside the center, downtown, it's the situation is totally different. I mean, you will see the reality of Cartagena, that reality that nobody wants to show, and well, the thing is that every time a mayor is in charge, the mayor, the only thing that tries to do is like stealing money and is not inverting in Cartagena. And I know this is a really beautiful city, have a beautiful nights and all those stuff. However, if you don't receive, I mean, the money that we're supposed to be receiving for, like, for example, the maintenance of the city, we will have like the issue that we're having in this moment. Like, for example, poor people, like dangerous neighborhoods, etc., etc. That's basically the thing.
It is true. It happens, I think, in most of the cities in Colombia. But the situation about Cartagena is that it has many beautiful places and is completely opposite on the back. Um, well, today the topic was about leadership. What is to be a leader? So I would like to listen from you. What is your opinion or what is your definition for a leader? What is a leader? So let's see, Wilder, what is a leader for you?
A leader. Do you listen? A leader. The definition about leader. The leader for me is a person who has a lot of good qualities to guide the rest of the people to that person uh, are is able to think and help each others, and that's all.
Okay, very good. That is a good definition of a leader. I think that when you are in the military forces, you have a really good conception of what is a leader. Because you need to follow something, you need to follow someone to have good instructions. So you have clear for you what is a leader. What about you, Erlin? What is your perception to be a leader?
I'm sorry. I was was having some difficult for technical difficult.
I didn't listen to you. I'm asking, what is to be a leader for you? What is a leader?
All right, now you can can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, a leader. Leader. I think leader is a person that motivates the other people. Leader is the person that always go first to try to find out the answers and try to motivate the others to follow these steps. Uh, a leader is a person that don't left nobody behind. That's what I think that's a leader for me. A person who guide you through a process, uh, um, who who teach you um, and to show you the things that you should know. That's a leader for me. Okay.
Yes, I totally agree. In fact, teachers are kind of leaders. They have to motivate, they have to guide, as Wilder and you have said. Motivate, guide, instruct. Those are important aspects of a leader. Uh, Mention two important leaders or two leaders that come to your mind. The first leaders that come to your mind. Tell me, Wilder, two first leaders that come to your mind.
For me, my my best leader around the world is the first is Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was an excellent leader to define the the black people. The black people. I like the the speech about him because he speak speak speaks so good. For instance, he said I have a dream. I have a dream. Uh, I think he he wanted the white people and black people share the same thing. Uh, everyone for everyone the same human rights. And the second leader is Barack Obama. Barack Obama, because I think it was the best president in the history of the United States.
Okay, you have very good options. What about you, Early? What are the first two leaders that come to your mind when you think about it?
Mm, Rigoberta Menchú, I guess that's one, and Nelson Mandela. And those are the first one that comes to my mind in this moment. I know that Rigoberta Menchú won a Nobel Prize because of peace, and I know that Mandela was against slavery, and that's what I basically know about these two leaders. Those are the first ones who come to my mind in this moment.
That is great. So you have a lot good leaders. You got good references. And you already mentioned why they were really good leaders. Why do you think are the qualities or characteristics that every leader should have. You already said that the person has to motivate, but what is a characteristic? Something that defines, for example, I don't know, to be tall, but to be short, no, but no physical, but in personality. What is a characteristic of a leader? Erlene, start.
All right, characteristic of a leader. I think that the main characteristic is that the leader have to be inspiring. That's the main characteristic. That's the main characteristic for me. The leader have to be inspiring. He, that leader should, I mean, he needs to be able to inspire others to follow the way, the road. I mean, the words of the leader could be so inspiring that every time that we listen to the leader, immediately we know we say and we believe in the leader. We say, hey, that's true. What he's saying is totally true. So I think he needs to be really inspiring and needs to inspire the people. That's basically what I thinking about.
That is a great characteristic. I agree with you. And Wilder, do you agree? Do you have another characteristic?
Yes, I'm agree with my partner, but in my personal opinion, I think the leader have must have uh, other characteristic like a honest person, excuse me, evaluate, reliable,
Reliable.
reliable person, a leader listen the other person before just you. Uh, the leader must have a lot of knowledge how to develop different activities or different the activities he is teaching, for instance. But I think the knowledge in a leader is so important.
That is true. That is true. Wilder, when you agree, you need to say, I agree.
I
Because in
agree.
Spanish, yes, in Spanish we say, yo estoy de acuerdo. So if you translate it, I am, but no, it is, I agree.
Ah, yes. Thank you, Miss. Only I agree. I agree. Okay.
Yes, very good. Um, those are very good characteristics to be to inspire others, to be a good listener, to be honest, reliable, and also to have the facility, to have the ability to keep people connected, to grab their attention, to keep them with him or her, so others follow. Do you think are there natural leaders and there are natural followers, like always people that are going to follow and some others that are going to be natural leaders? Or do you think to be a leader, you develop to be a leader? Natural leaders or you build to be a leader? What is your opinion, Erling?
Well, I think there are leaders that are born for it. I think there are others that they become leaders. Uh, I think there are other leaders that I'm sorry. I mean, there are ones that they are born for them. There are other ones that are they become into leaders, and they're just people that just follow the leader. Um, I've seen many people in my life, and I found with those kind of surprises. Means there are people that I really admire because of their leadership, and actually, I can say that they were born to leader a process. The inspiring words that they have, it's something amazing. The way they treat the other people, it's really good. There are other people that I also know that they becoming leaders, but if I just make a comparison between those ones that becomes into leaders and those ones that have born as leaders, I think, and I would say that those people that have become leaders have to learn a little bit from those ones that they just like the ones that are born as leaders, because that's something natural for these guys. It's like an extension. It's like another extension of their body. I don't know how to explain that, but it's something like that. It's like it's so natural. It's so natural. And people who learn it on time, they it's a little bit difficult for them. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I think, and that's what I've seen all this time.
Yes, it is true. There are some people that are too natural, that they do it too good. It's just what you said, like another extension. It's like part of themselves. What do you think, Wilder? There are natural leaders, or do you need to work to become a leader? Do you need to study or to develop things, or do you have it natural in your life, in your mind, in your body? I don't know. Tell me.
Miss, I think I think uh, both to you need both point of view maybe to become a leader. I I know in the world there are a lot of people who born with a lot of capabilities to be a leader, but but they they need to acquire uh, knowledge and in a specific area to become a better a better leader. I think the natural I think the natural leader is not that is not enough. The I think you need to reinforce the capabilities you have. But for me, and isn't a natural leader. You need to acquire someone a good leader.
Okay, so you have something like comes with you, and then you train to master, to become a really good leader. And
Yes.
what do you think are some bad characteristics, or what characteristics does a bad leader have?
Advance. I I I don't understand.
There are leaders that are positive. You mentioned Mandela, you mentioned Obama. And Orly mentioned, oh, I forgot. Well, those leaders, those are positive
I
leaders.
mentioned Rigoberta Menchú and Nelson Mandela.
Okay, great, thank you. Nelson Mandela and Rigoberto, the Nobel Prize. Okay, so those are positive leaders, but there are negative leaders. What are those characteristics of those negative leaders? Think about, probably you know a negative leader that be famous, or just think about the characteristics. Tell me, Wilder, what do you think?
You are ask me about the negative leader. For instance, I can understand Adolfo Hitler
Okay.
because I can believe if was a bad person because he always he always he was always thinking to kill the people who who weren't the people who weren't tall because but but my my I don't know how do you say my expectation my
Yes, expectation is correct, but is
my
that the
my
word?
how do you say inquietud
Uh, my wonder, my.
my
Are
wonder
you
is
listening to the
why
word?
if he was a bad person why a lot of people follow him.
But he was a negative leader.
I yes, but I think because in the history of the world, say if you give the food to the people, to the you give the food to the people is going to follow you. Then I think that was an strategy he he applied over the population. But for me, it was a bad leader.
That is a good example, and we can say that a characteristic was probably his ideas, the beliefs, his perceptions. Those perceptions are negative and affected many people. Erlin, tell me about you. What's your opinion? What is a characteristic of a bad leader?
Actually, I can mention a bad leader in this moment. I can mention in this moment Donald Trump. For me, he's a bad leader. He's a negative leader. Um, if we start, I mean, from the beginning, we can say uh, in the moment he got into the president, he immediately says, "I am going to divide our nation in between us and the rest of the people." Because we are North American, and basically, according to what they say, the white power, white people, basically, North American people are the only one who deserve North America. I mean, the United States. So basically, he was constructing the big walls against Mexico, and And in other words, he has said he has I mean he told is that um, Latins, I mean, for example, Latin Americans basically they are not Americans. Real Americans are North Americans. That's what they say. For me, and basically watching those point of views, I can say with no doubts that this guy is a really, really uh, not a positive leader. He's a negative leader. I mean, he's now another example is that since he's in presidents in this moment, many white people have like declaring war against colored people and weak and Latin people. And so I could see like, for example, I could see like a video inform regarding the discrimination than in United States. Uh, Many groups like had because of this guy who's influenced all of these kind of groups. So it was like a little bit complicated. I mean, with the raise of the power of this guy into the United States is a little bit complicated, and I guess the situation of the discrimination has been is getting even worse now that he's in the power.
Well, that's a really good point. And so we can sum that having the power, because you're a leader when you have a power, when you have the power, having the power and using it just because you think, because you believe that what you're doing is correct, but it's affecting many people, it turns you into a negative leader. So when you have the power, you need to be very careful of what is it. And you're right. Everything we do have collateral consequences, which at that moment are those that you mentioned. Really, really deep discrimination, really deep people thinking that we are here and you are the rest of the world, and a lot of situations of violence growing and growing up every day. Last question for today. If you were the leader, the person in charge, what changes would you make if you were the leader in your company or in the place you are? What changes would you make? So in your case, Erlene, it would be if you were the leader of your school, and in your case, Wilder, if you were the leader of the army. What changes would you do? Tell me, Wilder, about it.
If I were a leader, I work against the corruption because it's a big problem, not only in my institutions, but also in all our country. But that will be the first problem I will I would work, and I uh, help help the people to study to study to study and improve the discipline inside in my case, in my institutions, and that's
Discipline.
all. Discipline, discipline.
Okay, that's something good. You will make good changes. I will vote. Erlen, if you were the leader of your school, what changes would you make?
Sorry, I'm sorry. Could you please repeat that again?
Sure. If you were the leader of your school, what changes would you make?
Okay, let me think. It's a really tricky question. I have never thought on that question. But if I think if I were the leader of my school, the first change that I would do in my school, all right, that's hard. It's hard. Uh,
Don't worry, your boss is not going to hear. Will you change the school at all? Or just few teachers? Would you put other rules? Change the requirements of access for students? What can be? Berlin? Wilder, do you listen to me?
Yes, miss, I listen.
Okay, now you have come. And Erling? No. Okay. It seems Erling had problems communicating. Okay. I think that to be a leader, it's really hard, but it's something everybody can do. Like if you are at this moment in the army, just do your job. It can be to become a leader. You're doing great with your English, Wilder. I was listening to you talking about your job, your profession, your daily life. You're doing great. And now with these questions, you just said everything. So it is really good. Uh, I think you just need a matter, it is just a matter of continuing these sessions. It's just a matter of continuing these sessions. Okay, Arlene, now tell us about, you got too anxious. Tell us about it. What would you change if you were the leader of your school?
okay. First of all, I would try with from the class, from the beginning of the class, I will try to change students' attitude. There is something that is happening in the school in this moment is that our school is is well known because we are accepting in this moment all those kind of people. And when I say all those kind of people, I said um, kids with special needs. But the normal students, let's say the normal students, I have seen it many times that they don't tolerate special students. And that's something that I would like to change a little bit. Tolerance regarding the kind of topic. I mean, it's not that there are two kind of students that there are ones that are special and there are other ones that they are not special. The only reality is that there are one kind of students that may learn in a different way than other kind of students. That's basically the main differences. That's something that I will try to adjust within every student. That that's something that I will try to make them understand because I think it's really appropriate for our school. Uh, Another thing that I would change is like the teaching method that Montessori is applying in this moment. I think teachers, well, not just teachers, but the methodology lets a student makes many things, and personally, I'm not agree with that because it turns out that it can becomes into a problem in a big future. So I would change like also some restrictions regarding the rules. There's something, I mean, to set boundaries. That's something that the school need to point, need to mark. If the school doesn't do that, it will have an issue later on. That's basically what I'm thinking in this moment, like paraphrasing.
Okay, that's great. You have many good points and good arguments. I think you will be a good leader too. Well, I was saying, Wilder, being a leader is something teachers have to be always a leader inside the classes. But not only teachers, everybody with their own attitude, with their own good mood, we have the choice to be good or to be bad leaders. We are always going to have someone following us. Can be family member, can be a daughter, a son, can be a friend. At any point, we are leaders. So my invitation is think about yourself and try to be a good leader. Um, well, that's it. That's all for today. I really have would like to listen to you, and I highly appreciate you made it. You could be with me during the class, and I know you made really good effort for being here. Keep it up. Keep it up. And see you next week. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Bye, Arlene.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Miss, for
You're
your
welcome.
teaching. I am thankful to you. The idea is every day improve my English level. I
But
know.
you're doing great. You're on the right way.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Enjoy a lot.
Thank you. Enjoy
Enjoy a lot.
your birthday celebrations.
Okay, Miss. See you. God bless you.
God bless you too. And amen. Bye.